Well, to the Tigers team first of all, and Richard Cockrell has shifted a little from the selection plans he declared post-Bath and has made 4 personnel changes for this LV Cup final. Club captain Jordan Murphy is at fullback, and Scott Hamilton, who started there at the Rec, moves to the wing in place of 20-year-old Alex Lewington. Another youngster, Andy Forsyth, steps down too, and the much more experienced Matt Smith comes into midfield. Up front, youth is also sacrificed for big game know-how. George Skivington is in for Callum Green, and Thomas Waldron replaces Ben Pienaar. The one change that sees the rising generation replace experience is at tight head. Mulipola in for the veteran Julian White. And today Leicester are clearly targeting victory ahead of development. The starting lineup has an average age of 27. Well, 5 Saints were on duty for England yesterday, and Tom Wood probably would have been at HQ but for the toe injury which kept him out for almost 2 months. Wood was man of the match last week in the LV semi and will look to inspire again. Wood has recovered from a stamp on the foot which left him with his tootsies wrapped in bandages during the post-match interviews. To the general structure of the team, and coach Jim Mallender has made 2 changes from the side that beat the Scarlets 27-12. James Downey, who picked up a yellow card last week, comes into the centre for Tom May, and Suwani Tongoia replaces Alex Waller, who scored one of the Saints' 2 tries a week ago in the sunshine of the Gardens. On to the replacements for Leicester. The most noticeable change there from last week is Toby Flood in for Jeremy Staunton. On the bench for Northampton is the menacing figure of Brian Mujati, reinstalled after a shoulder injury. Well, the Six Nations is over. The Premiership is back next week. But in the meantime, the Saints have the chance of spring silver. Remember, there's only 3 competitions you can win. There are trophies in Europe, the Premiership and the Anglo Welsh. Any season that comes with triumph at a final has to carry satisfaction.
There's a big crowd here at Six Ways. Look at that. Saints supporters in full voice. This is Sione Tongoia provide us on a platform that the half-boxing crowd that Myler and Martin Roberts want. Expect a big physical battle, the tight fight in particular. And you mentioned the man of the match in the semi-final was Tom Wood. He was outstanding in his play around the field, in the line-out, around the tackle area, and also defensively. Some big hits in there. He wants to push himself back in international recognition once again. And a big performance here in an LV Cup final would help that cause no end.
Well, the opportunities for glory days are limited. You have to grasp their chance. Can Leicester, under the captaincy of Jordan Murphy, grab their chance today? Remember, this season began very much in the abyss. That's where Leicester found themselves during World Cup time, when they lost 6 of their first 7 games. But here they are, right on the cusp of some silverware.
Tiger supporters in the full voice. A lot of changes made in this side. Richard Cockrell, one man he hasn't changed. George Ford at outside half. His kicking game, as Will was talking in the studio, was outstanding against Bath. He really toyed with the back three. He tried to do exactly the same to the Saints back three of digging at 10 Evan Armstrong. Really is for a 19-year-old man. And that's another man who had an influential game. Graham Kitchener in the line-out really made life difficult for Bath to settle themselves. He wanted to do the same to the Saints line-out and put himself around as well.
Leicester against Northampton, it's a giant rivalry. It's unlikely that they'll be calling this one the friendly final, as chums Cameron and Obama, they are not. And JP Doyle from Ireland is the referee, and it's Stephen Myler who starts this final in the sunshine. And up goes one of those Leicester Tigers development players, Jordan Murphy, just 16, a man to watch. Declan Kidney, tune in.
There's silverware at stake, and it's an East Midlands derby.
And here is truly one of those youngsters, George Ford, the IRB Young Player of the Year, finds Paul Digamo with that kick, and that's Scott Armstrong, showing good pace on the outside, one of the try scorers last week. Well, we're expecting a physical battle up front. Will we see some width and excitement from the men in the big numbers?
Well, Paul Digamo looking at a counter-attack here, very narrow chase from Tigers, allowed Armstrong get on the outside and lost the ball. Armstrong looking to get on the outside of Aguja, and then ball fell out of his hands, but Togo Ford will want a bit more height and a far better chase to that kick.
Well, it ends up with the first scrummage of the game, and what a titanic battle this should be. It's Big Daddy against Giant Haystacks. It's Kong against Godzilla.
You're showing your age now.
Touch! Pause!
Who is going to get the upper hand? Well, on the evidence of that scrummage, we see that it's Northampton who get the benefit of the referee's decision there with a free kick for the early engagement.
Willie Polo being penalised for early engagement, and another scrum being opted for Saints. They see this as a key element of some possible success as well, this aspect of the game, the scrum.
Well, you already see the mindset, can't you? It should be a lot of bash and bruise in this final. And it's Martin Roberts who feeds, and a penalty against that Leicester scrummage. And there will be quite a lot of back slapping you fancy in that Northampton 8.
This time Boris Stankovic being penalised. It's an earlier kick and goal now
on the outside on the ground
for Stephen Myler to get Northampton Saints on the scoreboard.
Just don't get involved after the scrum, okay? Because then they feed it.
The scrum, Saints opting to go for it. Time. Stankovic up against Paul Doran-Jones. Stankovic being penalised for
5 years at Leicester. Boris Stankovic signed from Albi, and now Stephen Myler, his 14th start of the season. That personal battle with Ryan Lamb for the 10 shirt continues. Good semi-final with 14 points and an 85% success rate in this competition this season. The low sun angling into the face of Stephen Myler, and he chops the ball across the posts, and Scott Hamilton gathers.
Very difficult, really squinting to the face of the sun there.
Well, the Leicester Mercury weren't too happy that George Ford was not selected as the LV Breakthrough Player of the Year. It went to Johnny May. It was, of course, an online vote taken by Roger Wilson.
Take a step, Leicester 3. Leicester.
Now it's the Welshman, Martin Roberts. Probably filled with Grand Slam euphoria, Roberts, as is the man to my right.
Tacklers, release. You're a tackler, you must release.
Tackler didn't release there, so it is a second penalty in these opening 4 minutes to the Saints, who have been on the front foot and have spent most of that time, in fact all of it I think, in the Leicester half.
They seem to have a little share of possession at the moment, but this is Newby. Being penalised there for not releasing the ball carrier, but I'm not quite sure whether he was the tackler, to be honest.
Well, Leicester, they beat Bath 17-16 in their semi. Graham Kitchener try, 4 penalties for a man of the match, George Ford. The Saints beat the Scarlets 27-12. Tries from Waller and Armstrong, and a really powerful performance from the pack. Llanelli Scarlets started so well, crossing the gain line, and then the Northampton pack took over with that driving maul and other aspects of physicality.
They just dominated the pace of the game totally against the Scarlets.
Stephen Myler missed the first one, but he's bang on target with the second attempt, and Northampton are rewarded for their possession territory and the fact that in terms of the penalty count, they've also dominated.
Yeah, nice strike. Really clean strike from Stephen Myler. Very confident with his goal kick in this moment in time.
Plenty of height on the restart, and the uber consistent Roger Wilson, such a safe pair of hands.
2 Northampton behind the ball.
Takes the ball for the Saints.
2 Northampton.
Roberts back to Myler.
Stand still, stand still.
Cross comes Jordan Murphy and Thomas Waldron, and off goes Jordan Murphy. 7 Premiership titles for the Leicester fullback. He's made over 300 appearances for the Tigers, and he almost gets hold of Diggin, but not quite. And Roberts gets it to Callum Clark, who's been the Northampton captain. Outside the Six Nations, there's a knock forward there by Armstrong. Advantage to the Tigers. And they do recycle the ball through Steve Mappy, taken on by Mully Pola, who is a really effective ball carrier. Grindle, here is Ford. And into contact goes Rob Hawkins. Now here's Ford again. Jordan Murphy whips it wide to Thomas Waldron. Tackle from Artemiev. Grindle, George Ford, Hawkins again, carrying once more. Here's Ford, the lead, 12 trees, looks for Mully Pola. He's got pace too as the 20-stone prop forward, and the whistle has gone, but the Tigers looking a little bit menacing now.
Yeah, they were gaining good yardage here. They would have enjoyed having a period of possession as well. Possession in the first 5 minutes was dominated by the Saints. But look at the Saints, they're looking to try and get that ball wide. They're looking to try outflank Leicester and they get a chance. That time Armstrong went to try and catch a pass that really wasn't meant for him. It was meant for Artemiev. This is where Leicester are carrying. Mully Pola really ran out of that ball nicely off 12 trees there.
Okay, let's get down to pitch side where Dean Ryan is waiting.
Just interesting looking at Leicester's setup with their kicking game. Last week, George Ford much happier to hit the corners, but with the threat of Northampton coming back, it looks pretty obvious that they're going high against Diggin, try and put him under some pressure and see if they can get the ball back.
You're not to go there. You're not to go across.
Good depth at out half of Leicester with Flood and that man George Ford, Jeremy Staunton as well, but at tight head, look at Mully Pola. There's no Dan Cole or Castro Giovanni, but they can still call on the big Samoan. And look at the scrummage again. Really powerful between these two big dog packs, and another penalty there.
Yeah, and Boris Stankovic looks at the ref and says, who, me? Am I being penalised? That's 3 penalties from 3 scrums for the Saints. It's very difficult. Once a referee determines you're to blame for these collapses, he's got it in his mind that you're the weaker scrum. It's going to be a long afternoon. And again, that's Stankovic folding in there. Saints will be enjoying this aspect of the game now. 8 minutes into the game, they seem to be in the ascendancy.
Has been noticeable in this competition how well the Saints have scrummaged no matter who's on the pitch for them. There's no Brian Mujadi today, who's on the bench, taken by Callum Clark, and Leicester getting through quickly on the ball receiver and putting pressure on that Northampton side.
Advantage over, not gone.
Martin Roberts waits and finds Wilson. Roberts again. Here's Myler, and he checks inside Ford, and then he gets some support. Now here's Tongawea. Stephen Myler. It's all quite tight down that channel, so PC kicks.
Yeah, good defence there from Tigers. Didn't allow the Saints to get that far over the gang line. How do you look? Saints are going to want the likes of PC Tongawea to carry the ball, run onto the ball at pace. You look back to last week in the semi-final, the Scarlets were able to marshal PC quite well. He wasn't that much of an influence in the game. Saints are going to want more from him today. They're going to want to move this ball out into those wider channels.
Big George Skivington, he's off to London Irish next season on a 3-year contract. There's a second row partner. Graham Kitchener, of course, played here at Six Ways for Worcester. Had his day now in possession. James Craig is alongside him in the second row for the Saints. In goes Tom Wood. He was one of the players sent off at Welford Road in their league meeting. Craig takes it into Mulipola.
Very aggressive on the tackle there. The Tigers really were getting stuck in there, trying to disrupt that flow of the ball. And that's the 4th penalty already. Be conceded. Someone stepped over the line a little bit there, but you can see what they're trying to do, trying to stop that rhythm, that ability to for the Saints to get the momentum going, get those big ball carriers. They're trying to stop them at source, getting into the break. They're really getting involved in that area.
Well, Stephen Myler has called for the kicking tee, and he's going to go for the post again.
And that's Mulipola driving through there. But once you're on the floor, you're not allowed to play that ball then. You're out of the game.
Amusing incident yesterday in Rome. There was a few mumblings around the crowd whenever the kickers were kicking. So just as Greg Laidlaw ran up to kick a penalty for the Scots, the man on the tannoy in the PA system in Rome screamed at the top of his voice, "Silencio!" right in the middle of the run-up. Brilliant.
I knew you spoke Italian, Robbo.
I'm just assuming silencio means silence. I'm not stupid.
Do you really want me to answer that?
So Myler. Now, it was really good from this distance a few moments ago, and he's really good from this distance again.
That was a sensational strike, man. A really clean strike. Yeah, he looked confident. Yeah, the warning sign should be now for the Tigers not to concede penalties within his kicking range.
Well, Stankovic is off. Marcus Ayertza is the replacement.
That's tactical or not?
Northampton 5, go behind the ball.
Stephen Myler clears away under pressure from Graham Kitchener. He's not a bad replacement, is he? Marcus Ayertza, 34 times capped Argentinian loosehead.
Let's see whether that's an injury, that replacement, or whether that's tactical. As I say, once the referee decides you're the culprit, it's kind of hard to shake that off.
Gap Northampton.
It's very early to make a tactical substitution.
Hawkins, good take by Kitchener, good line out. He rolled away well there. Kitchener against the grain, the Northampton defence were expecting the ball to go to the right. And here's Mulipola. Advantage this time at last to Leicester. Here comes Waldron. And Leicester do get their penalty here and do get their chance to half the margin that Northampton have at the moment in terms of the number of points they are ahead. I could have said that without using just so many words as that, but I got lost.
It's the line out to the tail. No question, and that's James Craig being penalised there for tackling the man as he's due to come round the corner to take that. Again, I know Kitchener is good, he's in the line out. This is an important kick for Leicester. It's been all Saints so far. They'll want to get on the board early.
Well, George Ford turned 19 on Friday. Played his first game for Leicester when he was 16.
Okay, I'll follow it.
And remember, 12 points against Bath last week. Picked up the Man of the Match award. And Leicester really do need to start getting moving here. And they are at last on the road.
Well, that'll make George Ford feel really good. As he won first kick at goal, nailed the 3 points. We talked about it. His exquisite kicking game. As you see Ben Youngs Cole alongside him as well, cheering on the team. This is here the physical aspects. That's important today. How we can cope with the physical aspects, because they know the Saints are going to come charging on the corner towards him.
Pretty flat restart kick there by Stephen Myler.
And you also know that a Downey and PC will also be targeting that channel.
James Grindle.
6 is legal. He's in the tackle.
It's well taken by Wilson. Now the drive comes on from Northampton. And of course it was the maul where they were so effective last week, but they've turned it over. And Kitchener now Waldron. Here's Jordan Murphy. And it's Matt Smith who finds trail trees. Beautiful hands. The timing of the pass. Scott Hamilton. And then the offload to Matt Smith.
A bit of lazy running by Downey as well, running the pass.
Here is Newby, 32-year-old flanker, pops it up for Millie Pola. And Millie Pola, look at the pace from the tight head. And there's the support from Grindle. Ayerza is right alongside him, super glued to his shoulder. This is more like it from Leicester. Thomas Waldron, good defence by Downey. Had to make the tackle there. In comes the versatile Maffey. Happy second row, back row, now 12 trees. Happy in the centre and at 10. The many believe 12 is his best position. Now it's forward, finds Maffey. Try score against Northampton in that league game. It's 7-try thriller. Here's George Ford and runs into an injured player, Jordan Murphy. And now here's Ayerza. He sensed a little bit of a gap there between two defenders. Roger Wilson, one of them. Here's Waldron. Hamilton's come over from the wing, and now it's Aguja. What a period of possession and pressure this is from Leicester. Willie Pola once more. Northampton Saints are caught offside.
Peter sustained pressure. Willie Pola was central to that. Tigers look to be trying to get an offloading game. They're looking to attack the outside channel, but looking to pass the ball out to the contact area. Keep the movement going, keep those runners onto the ball, push this Saints defence around the field. Really not wanting to go to ground with the ball at all. Looking to get the offload time and time again. That time you see Newby trying to keep the offload, and there's Willie Pola there to keep that drive going. Strong ball carrier. It gets the juices flowing, and you see big ball. We've come used to seeing Tonga Weir do it. Molly Pola also shows that he's capable of carrying the ball well in this game. But interesting to see what Tigers are trying to get that offloading game going, really keep the momentum moving and trying to move the Saints defence around the field.
Well, there were those who thought that this match might have been an 80-minute maul, but it's far from it in this first 17 minutes. Leicester and the Saints between them this season have scored over 140 tries across the three competitions. Saracens have only scored 46. Does that tell you something? George Ford. And it's 100% from the teenager. And reasons to celebrate from the big Tigers following here in Worcester.
Judged the breeze well, drew that in nicely, beautifully. It is quite a strong breeze up there, and he judged that to perfection. Two lovely strikes to the Manabon.
Myler gets a lot more height on this restart than he did the previous one. Here's Aguja, who was the man who scored the decisive try in that incredible league match back in December. 75th minute, when he replicated the Ash splash at Welford Road just to rub it in. The try also notable for Jordan Murphy taking out Ben Fulton, so he wasn't able to defend it. Missed by the officials, and Wilson doesn't miss that one, does he? He's got a good start, Wilson.
What a dramatic game that was. If we can replicate that today, we're in for a treat.
Here's James Downey. Is off to Munster next season. His centre partner John Clark is off to Worcester, so that'll be the break-up of Butch and Sundance in that Northampton midfield. They've played so many games together, Downey and Clark.
James Downey, probably his first major carry. He's carrying that ball, and as he's looking to shrug aside defenders, but again, he's looking for the offload. Someone needs to get on his shoulder. We saw the Tigers, everyone is picking runs off the ball carrier, and again he shrugs off Waldron and shrugs off Hamilton as well.
Here goes Downey, loves cutting back on that sharp angle, James Downey. It was Callum Clark who took a very clean ball in the line out. Northampton haven't had the ball yet in the Leicester 22, I'm being informed. Here's Stephen Myler, and now George Peacey, excellent George Peacey, super season so far, and now they do get into the 22 in typical style through Tonga-Weah, and there's a penalty for the Saints.
How often have we seen in the last few seasons a pick up and go from Tonga-Weah?
Give me room, give me room, give me room.
It looks as if Rob Hawkins is hurt.
Thank you.
Oh, he's in a lot of pain. He is in a lot of pain.
Yeah, look at the bulk of the game. 78% been played between the 22s. But Saints only spent 1% of the game so far in the Tigers 22. Bulk of the possession been won between the 22s. But I've seen Tonga-Weah pick up in those sort of areas. Pick up as soon as defensive starts spreading, no one's guarding, and he's able to make good yardage.
Hold on, relax. I'm going to explain to Jordan now. Jordan, just stay with me for 1 second. All right, physio says I don't know that how that's happened. Okay.
Great run by Sawani Tonga-Weah. Let's get down to the touchline again, and Dean Ryan.
There's been a little bit more variety in Northampton's play in the last 5 minutes. I think everyone was expecting the big driving line out. Every time they've had an attacking option, it's gone off the top. A little bit of variety with Myler with kick throughs. And as we saw there, Tonga-Weah prepared to take the ball up through the middle of the ruck. Got to keep things changing just to keep the defence asking questions.
Yeah, we've seen variety from both the teams so far. This time we see PC driving the ball up. There's Tonga-Weah, look, no time for the defence to settle at all. See Hawkins goes back there, but no time, no one there guarding that. Able to shrug past and carry the ball. Jordan Murphy does well to bring him down, because the big man was starting to build up some speed.
He's an absolute master of that, isn't he, Tonga-Weah? Just going straight through the middle.
Why is it scanning there to see where the opportunity is? Do you clean? Do you just secure with the ball? Do you pick up and drive? You just identify where the weaknesses in the opposition defence is. And defences these days are so often, they just immediately spread out to take the next wave. Obviously, it leaves holes behind something. There's a hole somewhere. Tonga-Weah is very good at identifying where that hole is.
A one-handed pick-up as well. Well, it's Tom Youngs, who's had a lot of problems this season with a back injury, who's going to come on already. Leicester have used two of their front row subs, and there's his brother, Ben Youngs, down Cole alongside. As an Irishman, it's wonderful to see those English lads so soon. Hello, boys.
Goal, time out, please.
But yeah, all the English players from the two sides, I believe, are here today, who played at Twickenham yesterday. Great to see them out supporting their clubs in this LV Cup final.
Yeah, it is. Very good to make the trip up. You see Tom Croft is there as well in the back. See the injured Courtney Laws there.
It's a good look, that, isn't it? A suit jacket and a hoodie from Courtney Laws. Then I would know nothing about fashion.
Yeah, you go and tell him that.
Yeah. Well, what about your sartorial elegance, Courtney? And struggling with the sun in his eyes. Thought they didn't upset him too much. That time did it. And Northampton move into the lead.
If you were both coaches now, you'd want your teams to stop giving away penalties, because both these kickers, George Ford and Stephen Myler, are to be in great form.
Roger Wilson takes. He gets hit by Scott Hamilton on gathering.
That's a good take by Roger Wilson, under pressure from Hamilton there.
Just seems to be error-proof almost, Roger Wilson. Chance for Downey to get away here, but there's been a knock forward.
Downey not looking for the offload, but picked a lovely angle around that ball nicely.
Here we go, back to yours.
More wise words from Dean Ryan.
It's a big test for this Leicester scrum. There were 2 changes in the front row. Stankovic was having problems with Doran Jones, just getting across the front and in on the hooker, but with the substitution of the Yurta, he's much squarer, much capable of taking Doran Jones and keeping him out. So first test really of this new Leicester scrum.
9, offside 9.
And that is a better scrum, and it's offside against Martin Roberts as Waldron takes it on in impressive fashion. Here's Grindle now, Yurtsa, and he really was up the end of there. What a chopper-style tackle.
Stop.
And the whistle.
Away you go.
Whistle's gone here from JP Doyle.
Probably here, 9 offside at the scrum.
And he comes back for that penalty, the offside against 9.
Certainly the Tigers feel a lot better, a lot stronger scrum. See Martin Roberts offside there. Waldron knew that Martin Roberts is no longer there, picked up well, made good yardage. Forced the penalty.
Number 9, offside at the scrum.
Well, Leicester won their pool in this LV Cup under Richard Cockrell, of course, with just 13 points, 3 wins and 1 try bonus in the 40-14 win over Gloucester. Another significant pool win came at Harlequins, 19-9. Good win that down at the Stoop. And the Tigers then beat Newcastle in their final pool game. 1 loss against the Scarlets, round 1, when the Tigers conceded 5 tries. And here they are in the decider. And here is George Ford to square things up at 9 apiece.
A fairly easy kick for George Ford there. Tigers will be feeling better on the back of that scrum, though. After conceding 4 penalties from scrums in the opening 10-15 minutes or so, that'll make them feel a lot better.
Richard Cockrell had a bit of a rethink of his team selection about Tuesday. After the Bath game, he was talking about playing all the youngsters, and then he remembered that there was silverware to play for. And he did say he had a couple of difficult conversations to have with players left out, like Alex Lewington for Scythe and Ben Pienaar.
Well, it's quite obvious he's reassessed.
Here's 12 trees, what a break by 12 trees, and a great offload, super support from Kitchener. In comes Tom Youngs. Grindle again, the ball just slowed down there. Now Ford whips it out to Murphy, and here's Matt Smith now, and it's Maffey. Maffey stays on his feet so well. Just allows the extra second for the support to arrive, and now it's Waldron. Grindle, Ford, and on his shoulder on the inside was Kitchener, and they're inside the 22.
Tackle off!
All the numbers are on this left-hand side. Jordan Murphy in the line again. Here's Maffey. Maffey strong, powerful, drives for the line. Super try by Leicester. They just wore the Northampton Saints down defensively, and then they found the hole.
And what impressed me with the whole build-up, those phases Tigers went through, was not only the power they brought under their running, but also the angles of running. Really asked severe questions of the Saints defence, and ultimately they couldn't answer there. A lot of it came from this break originally, and that's a lovely step from 12 trees. But look at the support angle from Kitchener on the inside. The call was there. That's terrific from the second row to go through the next phase again and then stretch. Plenty of numbers there. Drew him on, and a lovely pass for Jordan Murphy. Murphy, how often have you seen Murphy able to score out wide? Very athletic back rower, very powerful back rower, but again, good running angle, and that's really impressed me for the Tigers. Yes, and that's what it means to his coach. He liked that.
What was it Cocker said? It's not that important, the LV Cup, it's only the 3rd competition. But I don't think so now.
It's all about that it's all about that reassessment, isn't it? This is now silverware.
And it's Northampton who are the opposition, which just adds the spice, doesn't it? An extra stick of dynamite to an already explosive atmosphere. And look at that conversion from George Ford.
Outstanding bit of play all round. We'll see what he means to Ben Youngs.
Well, Steve Maffey, what a good try he scored, remember, in the game against Gloucester, off the line out. Dean Ryan again.
Well, Myler's got to find a different form of kick, because Leicester's got 3 pods. They've got Kitchener on that side, Maffey on this side, and Skivington in the middle. That's given them the platform to win this restart.
Yeah, Maffey's been really good. Well, he's been impressed me. He's been a terrific signing of the Tigers. His adaptability, but also brings that athleticism and power.
Advantage over scrum.
Ford. Dorlan Jones just couldn't get to him in time. Artemiev, the Russian, hasn't scored in a while after a great start of the season. Look at the pressure at the breakdown from Leicester, and the hands came in from Northampton under all that pressure, and there's a penalty.
I'm here.
How often do we see that high diagonal kick from George Ford against Bath at the Rec? And once again today, he loves putting his up and unders, but it's a direction, a control he has in it as well. 63% of the game now being played in Northampton's half, and George Ford is pulling the strings with his kicking game. The chase, the hunger is definitely there. This time that ball was hanging up high. That's a terrific kick, that is. Plenty of height. But look at the chase, look at the jerseys. There's nowhere for Artemiev to go. Brought down by Hamilton, but again, anyone at 2 or 3. Smith said as well, they're hunting in numbers, hunting in a pack, really putting pressure on this Northampton Saints back 3. It's been an excellent 50 minutes or so for the Tigers.
He's got a Rolodex of kicks, hasn't he, George Ford? One for every letter in the alphabet.
Well, straight up and under is difficult enough, but doing it on a diagonal as well, very, very difficult to be precise with that. And that accuracy really does help the chase. And speaking to Cockrell before the game, and he said how helpful Toby Flood's been this week.
Yeah, as I was saying, 2 very good 10s of this club. 12 threes can play there too. There's Jeremy Stunt, and also Mully Pulla. That's a beautifully worked move. Steve Maffey involved. He almost dummied with his eyes there, Maffey. He was looking the other way as he played the pop ball. Here's Waldron, and now Grindle. Craig Newby, the All Black. Grindle again, but the quick ball. George Ford, they've gone for the win. Here's Jordan Murphy, and across comes Martin Roberts. Good sweeping by the scrum half.
Yeah, a lot of plenty of energy, plenty of variety in the way the Tigers are playing as well. There's an urgency there, but look at the decoy runners there. There's plenty of options. Lovely little dink through as well. Well covered by the scrum half, Martin Roberts to get there. Certainly a spring in the step on this Tigers side.
15th season with the club. Jordan Murphy, his 12th final.
Touch! Pause! Engage! I want you on the inside,
It's a terrific attacking position now. I mean, look at his back line lined up. What I liked about the Tigers today, at angles of running, really are causing problems for the Saints defence. And they're looking for some quality ball from Mully Pulla and his mates.
Well, if the Tigers can just nail another try before half-time.
It's really simple.
Come on, let's go, come on.
Do you reckon Tom Waldron fancies his chances here? Or do you reckon George Ford is going to get the ball?
Touch! Pause! Engage!
Another reset. There are some areas of the game that have become a little bit stagnant in recent times. Slows the matches down. Other resets in the Six Nations. But of course, it's always exciting when these crucial scrums are close to the line, as we saw in the England game yesterday.
Touch!
With the penalty try for England.
Engage! Neither are bound. Neither player binds. Neither player bound. Bind. Yep, you come 1 yard.
It does get frustrating when the game sometimes almost appears to becoming stationary.
Okay, look, this side is binding. Look at me, you two.
I was speaking to Ed Morrison before the game today, and he was saying, yeah, the IRB are going to look at that aspect of the game, and also Strum House putting their foot on the ball at the back of rucks. There may well be a time limit on that next season.
Can you see how wide Hamilton was there?
Here comes the drive from Leicester, and it's the penalty. Now, how far away are they from the penalty try? You can see George Ford there. He says, look, we don't want to kick this. We want to go for another scrummage.
That's a 19-year-old outside half who's calling for that. And as well as he's kicking, he's got a feel for the game. Now, this is an important part of the game.
Sorry, hello?
The 19-year-old telling his 34-year-old captain what to do next. Not saying Jordan Murphy would. I'm not saying Jordan Murphy wouldn't have called for the scrum, though, but George Ford was just putting up his argument.
I know, but they've now decided to go for goal after all.
Yeah, despite that detailed,
more experienced heads prevail.
Yeah, conversation with Jordan Murphy, or gesticulation it was from Ford. They've decided to go for the posts.
They certainly have, since they made the changes, whether they were tactical or not, and it certainly wasn't in the case of Rob Hawkins, who was hurt. It looks as if he hyperextended his elbow, but the scrum is certainly a lot more solid. The Tigers now.
And of course, George Ford has been kicking immaculately today, as he did last week. Can he maintain that 100% record? No, he cannot, and he will be maybe thinking, why didn't we take the scrum, skipper?
I said a scrum all along, that's what he's telling himself.
Ben Youngs, of course, he was the tap and go merchant yesterday, wasn't he, for that try?
Yeah, give his huge boost to his confidence as well now. He's been taking that try.
Myler's restart is very deep, taken by Aguja. Here it is Waldron. Took a big hit there, Thomas Waldron. Now forward to 12 feet. Great offload by 12 trees under pressure from Matt Smith.
Not you. No.
With Matt Smith outside him, rather, but a great offload.
Penalty, just go back there.
In contact.
Right, the law says you have to wrap. Okay, you've got to get your arms around him.
JP Doyle reckoning that PC did not wrap the player in the tackle.
Failure to wrap in the tackle.
Yeah, I think Josh Peacey's been penalised there for tackle. Not using his arms in a tackle. You have to use your arms. Looking to get that ball wide, and he went in with a bit of a swinging arm there as well, and put a hit on Hamilton. That's PC. Oh, yeah, that was just a straightforward forehand smash.
2 meters.
Tom Youngs to the tail, and it's not straight.
Option please, Northampton.
Yeah, it'll be frustrating for the Tigers, but generally they play the last 10 minutes. They've really dominated possession. 89% really have controlled this game in the last 10 minutes or so.
Leicester last in the final in 2008 when they lost 23-6 to the Ospreys. They won the cup the previous year when they beat the Ospreys again, 41-35. Remember that was a fabulous decider. And here's another penalty at scrum time to Northampton, and they need the relief.
Yeah, I hear him penalised for not binding. See that? Really are keen on that aspect. The scrum at the moment. So David Flatman, they've been penalised quite often.
Well, when this competition was an All-English Cup, Leicester won it 5 times, including 3 in a row from 79 to 81. That's Craig who takes the ball for the Saints. Here's Myler. And now Downey and PC. And PC has taken on his shoulder. And Northampton getting into the 22. Haven't been there that often in this first half.
Good ball off the top from Craig. It's allowed Pete to get over that gangland. That's what they want. Saints want to get PC charging in those outside channels, but you've got to hold on to the ball.
Go back number 8.
Especially when you haven't had much of it in the last 10 minutes.
Here go Leicester again. Not afraid to move it wide, are they? Here's Youngs. Hamilton just tripped over Craig, or else he would have been in support there.
Yeah, good support by Youngs.
Ford. Penalty.
Saints looking to get PC to play. Good wide passes. PC picking his angle. Again, got scragged back there, but that's what Saints want to see. PC run out of the ball at pace, using his power. Kind of shrug off Matt Smith. I wasn't able to do so. Matt Smith just held on to him, but a good quality ball off the top.
The Samoan international George PC played 3 times in that World Cup.
He's created such an impression this year in the Premiership. Really has been outstanding. Power combined with that ability to step as well. Such a difficult prospect for defenders to try and stop.
Tom Youngs, Kitchener, good hands. Ford, flat, Waldron hard and straight into Myler. Grindle, Muli, Pola, driven back across the gain line by James Downey, but he kept the ball available well. And here's Waldron, good pressure from the Saints in defence that time.
Yeah, that time lost a bit of shape. They lost the number. George Ford had nowhere to go, no one to offload to either. Good angle running by Waldron, and again, that's been very noticeable in the Tigers' performance in the game so far. Nice angles of running, they're picking their angles nicely, making good yardage.
Leicester's Player of the Year last season, Thomas Waldron, the fans' Player of the Year.
Number 9,
the man from Lower Hutt.
Touch! Pause! Engage!
Leicester have used 48 players in this LV Cup this season. Northampton Saints have used 40. It is supposed to be by definition a development tournament, and certainly they have tried to develop players throughout the pool stages and into the semi-finals.
Yeah, it is
important. Make your point
first.
Seen Leicester, and keep your shape. Are you clear?
Forsyth, Lewington, obviously George Ford we talked about quite a lot today. Only Paul have been given a chance as well. It is important. And all of a sudden, who knows where they go for? You talk about the guys in the shortlist for the LV Breakthrough Player of the Year. People like Johnny May, Liam Williams. All of a sudden, you see these guys making the next step. Of that, there's no doubt.
Roberts gets away from Maffei. Threads the ball through the hole.
Yeah, nice play by Roberts. Got away from the attempted tackle. Just bought himself a bit of time, a bit of space to put the kick down. Since Nina spending a bit more time in Leicester's territory, and I'm going to do an awful lot of it over the past quarter of an hour or so as we head towards half-time. It's been an absorbing first half.
Tom Youngs, the older of the brothers. It is the friendly final. Cockrell and Mallender standing side by side. Here's Kitchener, takes the ball. Of course, they're just positioning themselves close to the tunnel so they can sprint down there into the changing rooms for that oh-so-crucial talk in the dressing rooms.
Kitchener was another line right there.
And Grindle, he'll head for the dressing rooms as well, and it's a half-time lead here for the Leicester Tigers. 1 try in that opening half, scored by Steve Maffei. Leicester with most of the possession and territory. Northampton, you feel somehow have got to spend more time inside that. Leicester 22 in the second half. Leicester 16, Northampton 9.
Well, 25 minutes it took, but the Leicester pressure tolls in Northampton's defensive line. And Steve Maffei's score signalled a siege on the Saints in the second half of that opening stander. It was just what the Leicester boss was after. Real emotion from Richard Cockrell, even if it opened him up for a bit of ribbing from some of his squad members. 16-9.
Gas in the second half against Leinster.
Well, they'd be worried about how much the Tigers controlled the bulk of that second half. After the initial quarter of an hour, as Will was talking in the studio, where Saints seemed to have a strong hold in the game, Tigers took it away. And the Saints would be concerned about the ease with which the Tigers really upped the pace, controlled where the game was played, kicking game of George Ford, but also, you know, the scrum was getting set, and the pace and the urgency which they brought to the game, the angles are running, plenty of the big men as well, so Murphy, Kitchener as well doing it, Waldrum. So that's it. You know, they'll be concerned about that. They need to assert themselves at the start of this game. Otherwise, Leicester could really take control of this game very early on in the second half.
Well, Leicester have won 17 and drawn one of the 21 games they've played since they lost that LV game in West Wales. The resurgence has been dramatic, but not perhaps entirely unexpected with all the World Cup men coming back. Here's Myler for PC, and it's Armstrong who gathers.
He's a strong man, Armstrong. He came off that touchline well, which is what he needed to do.
Dorlan Jones is Tom Wood, Tonga Wee and out Downey, and there's two men to his right. Roger Wilson is one of those. Here's Artemiev. Shows good strength.
No ruck, no offside.
Roberts to Tonga Wee. Yeah, he was tackled. He didn't release the ball, and JP Doyle makes the decision to give the penalty. But an impressive start to the second half, perhaps, from the Saints.
Plenty of width, the full width of the pitch. Attacked one touchline and then back and attacked the other touchline. Plenty of width in the passing, looking to create the overlap, and they did. They had a 3-to-1 overlap out wide. Good heading across, good covering defence. Couldn't quite get Artemiev free, but you see what the Saints are trying to do. That's what they tried to do in the first half. Didn't have enough possession to make the most of it in the latter part of that first half.
Tom Youngs, tapped back by Skivington. This is Ford. In comes Diggin, chased by 12 Trees, who hits Diggin. Good timing by 12 Trees.
Yeah, good catch by Diggin, and pinpoint in terms of the kick from Ford as well.
This is Craig now, and again Northampton looking for a bit of width. Craig sets the ball, and Kitchener came straight through the middle there. Some good defensive work by Kitchener. Here's Myler now. Now Clark. Tongawea. Myler. Diggin. Tackle from Matt Smith. Diggin, of course, has spent a lot of his career on the wing. Aguja working hard there.
Actually, Myler hit the line a bit more, take the ball up a bit more. He's passing very deep, doesn't allow Craig any chance there of crossing the game line. I'd like to run on the ball a bit more, kick the ball a bit flatter, bring the runners onto him.
Downey, Wilson, just his feet sliding away from him there. Ayerza is down injured. Here's Tongawea. Newby with the tackle. Tongawea showing his power to drive forward and then, importantly, get to ground. And it's a very slow ball to deal with for Roberts. Now Myler, so he decides to kick. And Horacio Aguja is back there.
Yeah, a bit of a nothing kick from Myler there. Plenty of time for Aguja.
Dixie, did you any view on the outside of 22?
I'm not quite sure where the Diggin was in his 22 when he kicked that ball, actually.
The ball isn't touched though, and that's joined Dean Ryan.
Big change in tactics from Malander and the Saints. In the first half, they really struggled to get hold of any ball. They were kicking very long, but this time they're taking the choice just to control the ball and try and run out. Just give themselves that little bit more possession.
Well, Northampton get their hands on that one. In comes Andy Long. Well into his 30s now, the English international. And now Callum Clark.
Yeah, standing at first receiver there, trying to get over that game line.
And he takes it again. Very flat, running powerfully. Myler and PC, it was almost beyond PC there. And well played by Wilson to get around him.
I don't know why people are upside down, it's just a scrum of Northampton.
It's a good line, I don't know why players are upside down.
It's a really bad picture, lads.
There's some big hits going into the wide man. lots of positive intent by both sides. It's been enjoyable. A terrific first half, really very intense game, bruising game at times. Both sides trying a lot. Play attractive rugby, trying to get those wider channels in their own little way, different ways. And you see the players bearing the scars of war there.
Touch! Pause! Engage!
Big cheer, big cheer from the Leicester half of the East Midlands as they get the penalty, and this is potentially from a kickable position for George Ford.
Yeah, not time. Saints been penalised. Owen Jones. Yeah, that's
3 scrum penalties in a row against Leicester, and Brian Mujati has been told to warm up. So George Ford, 4-5 in the first half. In the league, the Tigers now chasing a home semi-final, you would feel. 4 successive wins in this tournament sees them sniffing silver here at Six Ways. But it's the noisy neighbours who still stand in their way, and remarkably, 131 years of meetings, these two teams have never clashed in the final before.
And they've also got a fixture on Franklin Gardens coming up in the Premiership as well, and who knows what might happen in the latter stages of the Premiership playoffs.
Well, George Ford instantly just loved that strike, as they are inclined to say in golf. He hit it solid, where they continually savage the English language.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot. And as you see that change you talked about earlier on, Paul Doran-Jones comes off, and Brian Mujati goes onto the field.
Grindle to Aguja. So the only man missing now from the big 3 in the front row for Northampton is Dylan Hartley.
Aguja, such a difficult man to get down onto the ground.
This is Diggin. Decides to go. Chases. Was he blocked there by Grindle? Here comes Wilson though. Northampton still at the ball. 10 points adrift. Not quite chasing the game yet, but not far away from having to. Here's Downey, tries to get outside 12 drinks, does so. Now it's PC. PC's got dead support. Is PC going to need anybody? He is, and it's been knocked forward in the contact. But danger signs there for the Tigers as the Saints begin to penetrate.
The try line was beckoning there for George PC, but all came from a terrific up and under from Paul Diggin. Counter-attack by him. Roger Wilson was able to secure with the ball. And then you see Downey, lovely feet by Downey, just moves himself away from 12 trees, and that's PC in that step again. Gets past the first tackler, drives away, looking to get the offload, just loses the ball as he's in the offload. But terrific offload, first of all, by Downey. There's the power and change of direction from PC. Get that leg drive going, and he's looking to get to offload again. And as he's falling, and you can see what it means to Jim Allender. He knew there was a try there. Needed to find a man outside him.
Well, he was trying to offload it to one of the pace men, or Timiev, outside him.
Touch!
And a really excellent, jagged run by PC. What a drive by the Saints there at the scrummage, but Waldron has done really well to maintain possession for the Tigers.
It's been a good response from the Saints sort of that penalty from George Ford. They've held on to the ball, they're getting their runners onto it, they're holding possession, they're carrying effectively. She's asking questions of this Tigers defence.
Well, what a great clearing kick from George Ford. We talked about the Rolodex that he has in the alphabet, and that was excellent once more. He's got the full repertoire, it would seem. He certainly showed instances of that last week at the Rec.
It really was a terrific clearance by George Ford, under pressure, pretty much on his own dead ball line.
So Andy Long finds Tom Wood. In goes Downey. Tigers trying to hold him up there, and it's Martin Roberts trying to punch through the middle again. But now they're going backwards. It's Andy Long. Myler. Diggin. The ball cannons off at Gouja to Armstrong. And he was just tackled there. A little tip on his boots, and in goes Craig. He gets the offload away. And this really is more like it now from Northampton Saints. Roberts out to Myler, and it's intercepted by Scott Hamilton, and Hamilton is away, and this is an absolute brain wrecker for Northampton Saints.
Well, that was devastating Saints. So we're going through some phases when it's a good quality, quick ball in those phases as well. Looking to pick angles, nice angles, and then Scott Hamilton turned at the last minute to snatch that ball out of the air. Interception try, 75 yards downfield, and that's the missed pass from Myler. Hamilton read it all the way. He used all of his height to snatch that ball, and that'll be heartbreaking for Saints, and that's now a significant lead. This is Myler, good quality ball, but pretty much telegraphed there. Pretty much telegraphed. He read it all the way. There are plenty of numbers. Was the missed pass the right pass?
Well, what a margin now for the Saints. 26 points to 9. It's beginning to look very comfortable indeed for Leicester. And there's a man who's used to playing in finals, his 8th major final. And of course he's had 3 Super Rugby wins as well for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and that was pretty much 4-3. Numbers there, deciding to put the missed pass in. And perhaps straightforward hands down the line might have been the better evening. Let people take and give a pass, draw a man. Use that numerical advantage Saints had to that blind side.
Gouja. Grindle clears away. Was that speculative pass by Myler there? Was that a sign of the Saints maybe trying to chase the game a little bit too early, or do you feel it was the right sort of thing to try and do?
Well, attacking the wide channels is the right thing to do. How you get to those wide channels, that's the question. Whether that pass was the appropriate pass at that time. I thought there were plenty of numbers there. I didn't think there was any need to put a missed pass in.
In comes Armstrong, off the shoulder of Lamb.
Good contest. No, not for you.
Roberts, Tongoea.
Tackle, no issue.
And goes Tom Wood. Roberts, a lot of defenders out there. In for Timmy, and he couldn't gather. Under pressure from Hamilton. And it's a knock-on.
Everything all right there, Dixon?
What a clever little kick from Ryan Hamilton was. Well, that was destined for Artemia. If he held on to that, he might have been able to get away. But a lovely, deft little chip through. Well, Artemia had one little eye on Hamilton coming in to make the hit as well. But that would have been disappointing for Saints, not purely because the try was conceded, but also because they were starting to build some nice rhythm. They were carrying the ball more effectively, getting over the getting line, generating good quality, quick ball from their phases, and really starting to stretch the Tigers.
Good scrummage by the Tigers, but Tom Wood comes through very quickly. Out of the sprinters' blocks there was Wood. Waldron gets it away to Ford. Here comes Diggin. Diggin is Armstrong outside. Purposeful run from Diggin. Offloads well to Peacey. And Peacey, 3-4 Leicester defenders all over him.
They really are hunting in packs with Tigers. Getting away, plenty of numbers. Any hint of a try they don't want. They really feel as if they've got Saints where they want them. With this sort of lead, it's a significant lead now. Then the pressure came On to Grindle. That time by Tom Wood. But they need to get some points now. In terms of the scoreboard, it's been all Leicester.
Lovely hands in the line out by Maffey. Waldron. Grindle, Youngs.
Good drive by Youngs there.
Here's Ford.
That's sumptuous kick, really was. Inch perfect. Drove that ball. And when did he rewarded his forwards for their good play as well? Even told his forwards, good driving play that time by Youngs, just to get that extra few yards. Bought forward that precious few seconds. And then he executed that kick perfectly.
What's that on the Rolodex? T,
Hooker,
precise
back
punt.
Back two. Hooker, that way. Give yourselves room. It's your ball. Give yourselves room.
Taken by Craig.
Knock on Leicester. Step. No. Step. Step.
Roberts back to Ryan Lamb.
Advantage over scrum.
And he finds touch. For our younger viewers who have no idea what a Rolodex is, Google it.
You're going to start talking about space hoppers and stuff before long.
Time off. Who's running your line out?
I thought choppers were bicycles until I saw Dan Lydiate yesterday. What a performance by the entire Welsh back row, including Ryan Jones.
Right down, we're on time off.
Amazing.
Yeah, I thought the substitutions coming off the bench there, Ryan Jones, Ken Owens, all contributed enormously. Lloyd Williams when he came on as well. They all make significant
Let's go, please.
influences on the game.
Lions back row selection should be interesting when that time comes around.
Over.
There's an embarrassment of riches going for the Lions selectors.
Ford to 12 threes. Ford again. Now it's Matt Smith into the play. Jordan Murphy kicks it
Is that gone back,
straight
Dixie?
at Diggin, but he isn't able to hold on to it.
Dixie, 15 right, not done.
Here we are. It's again in the Saints 22. Really, Saints are finding it really hard to get out of their own territory. Plenty of ball. That's a Murphy just dinking that ball through. Paul Diggins going to work really hard at full back today, catching high balls, which we expected. Also, the way Leicester have spread the ball around. And that's where Saints are at the moment, in their own 22. It's not where they want to be.
Well, these two have at least one more meeting this season. The league game that Ryan mentioned, 14th of April, Franklin's Gardens. That could be a crucial one. They could, of course, meet after that in either the semi-final or maybe the final itself on the 26th of May. But they've got a final to worry about right now here at Six Ways, and it's Scott Armstrong in possession for the Saints. Here's Lamb, takes on Grindle. Roberts, Andy Long, Craig, Day, and just shipping the ball on and shipping it into trouble as that Leicester defence came up quickly.
Saints managed to win that ball against the head. Need to go through some phases now, trying to work their way up to that field.
20 away.
Roberts, Kitchener makes the tackle. Good little popped offload to Armstrong from Roberts. And Leicester come off their feet.
Support your weight.
Not supporting his weight there, Steve Maffey.
And his defence is a big weight to try and support.
Dean Ryan.
Well, Leicester have done a fantastic job just keeping Northampton pinned back, but Saints now tactically looking for that man Ryan Lamb. He's on just to find that extra little bit of magic, fast hands, a little bit of variety with his kick. He's the man who's going to just try and break this Leicester defence.
Long, Callum Clark, difficult ball for Roberts to deal with. What a pass to Armstrong. Oh, Armstrong's through here. Murphy with the tackle. Good play by the fullback.
20 away.
Roberts. Here's Lamb, and it's through for Roger Wilson. He manages to fall on the ball. What a position here now for Northampton Saints. Advantage to Northampton now. And it's a penalty.
Oh, that was a sensational reverse pass by Martin Roberts, really was.
I'm sure.
To get that sort of distance and accuracy from a reverse pass, really is. Great technique. This was a long distance towards the front. That's the really the front of the line. To get that pass with that sort of distance and that accuracy, good step by Armstrong. A strong man, powerful man. Again, no one can get it caught. Everybody by surprise. No one can get at his shoulder. A good step away. Tom Wood is probably the closest to him. And again, all came back on that terrific reverse pass. Callum Clark trying to get there as well. No one there quick enough for you to make sure the next phase is coming there.
Scrum time. Northampton's look at the possession in that second half for the Saints.
Yeah, this is how much of that possession has been in their own half, though.
And Leicester are getting the points on the board with only just over 20% possession. Great drive again by Northampton Saints at the scrum, and let's remember they scored 2 penalty tries in that Heineken Cup game against Munster.
They need to get some points on the board, but they haven't scored anything in the second half. Northampton Saints. Mujati's there. We know how effective he is in a scrum. They need to get some points in the back of this scrum, though.
Stay square and take it.
20 minutes left. See, look at that. Haven't scored anything since the 22nd minute of the game. Been all Leicester points since then.
Well, BJ Boda and his chums in the Munster front row were absolutely taken apart by Northampton in that game at the MK Dons Stadium. Now can Northampton do it to the Tigers? Look at the shove coming in from Leicester here. Disruption, that is brilliant. Is that the big moment that at the end maybe secures this final? But no, JP Doyle says differently. There's another penalty coming to the Saints, but that takes nothing away from that riposte at scrum time from the Tigers.
Well, that was sensational, but this is the question now for Saints. Do they go for another scrum after what happened in the last scrum? There's a debate. There's a council meeting going on at the moment. What do we do? Well, they opt to go for a touch instead. How much damage that last scrum do psychologically to the Saints?
Well, that is mentally a big plus for Leicester because of this.
That's great power from that pack. And look at him head to Dan Cole. He enjoyed that.
Northampton need to retain the possession here, and they have done, but it's really turgid ball to deal with.
16!
Tom Young just got to move away here, and he didn't roll away, so penalty, and off goes Tonga Milipola just throws him out of the way, which you'd think was almost impossible. South Sea strength goes face to face.
Yeah, they've been up against each other all day in the scrum, and now they're up against each other again. Tonga knows they need a score. Again, the hit, big initial hit, just takes Tonga sideways, but he didn't go back to the try line. Needed to go back and stand on the try line.
Well, this scrum simply has to be cohesive, you feel, as we enter the final quarter for Northampton.
Plenty of noise for supporters as well. They know the significance of this scrum.
They get the surge on, they're very close to that line. But have Leicester somehow managed to pounce on the ball on their own line? What a turnover. James Grindle, oh, he's still under pressure here. And it's going to be a 5-metre scrummage to the Saints.
Oh, let's get a bit frantic now. And the Saints understand the urgency. The difficult position they're in. Understand the ball goes in and just gets knocked forward. Comes off the hooker's foot, goes forward. And Tigers do quite well to rescue that in the back. But it's furious, frantic around that tackle area. There's been a few offsides as well. People coming in from all over there. And plenty of afters going on.
Down to Dean again.
The Saints using every trick on that last scrum. They didn't decide to hook the ball. Everybody was pushing and just tried to walk over the ball. But I think it was Tongawea's knee. Just caught it and gave Leicester that chance to escape.
Same for you, you must push straight. Crouch! Touch! Pause! Engage!
Oh, and again, the Tigers have won the ball from that Northampton put in. Julian Salvi with the ball this time. And they have sent out some big messages in this last 5 minutes, the Tigers, when they were under all of that pressure.
Tigers will gain so much from this try line. Sort of defence of theirs really camped deep in their own territory, and that time the ball snaffled by Salvi. It's important. As much as it's an urgency, the situation, you also need to maintain your composure. You've still got to do the fundamentals right. At the moment, that isn't working for the Saints.
Well, they just haven't been able to control the ball at those scrummages for one reason and another, whether it's knocking the ball through the knee, as Dean Ryan pointed out, or losing the ball on the floor. Roberts, this is Day. And he runs through 12 trees. He's missed a couple of tackles in this game. Penalty Tigers, they've done it again.
Good old-fashioned East Midlands derby. They want the Tigers will be enjoying this because they're frustrating the Saints. The Saints know they need to get on this board next. They need to get some points. As the clock is bearing down on 18 minutes, 15 minutes or so to go, they need to score some points. Tigers are sat there just frustrating everything they do, and they'll be enjoying every minute of this.
Toby Flood off the bench for George Ford, misses touch. Off goes Diggin, or Timieff is outside. But it's always a potent mix with these two rivals from the East Midlands mix. There's added Sulphur out there now, and here's PC. Armstrong outside him. PC chips for Armstrong to chase it. Jordan Murphy, who is 34 next month, gathers the ball. All that experience. But Northampton, they simply have not been able to convert all of this possession and the territory they've had inside the Leicester 22, and they've certainly had their opportunities.
Well, you've got to take a chances, Rob, as you said. You've got to be clinical. At the moment, Saints aren't able to finish anything off.
It's talked about before the game how significant. Richard Cockrell mentioned it, that the scrum was going to be today, and it's turned out to be that way in a defensive situation for the Tigers on several occasions, just when it mattered. Diggin or Timieff. Oh, big hits continue to thrash him.
There's so much going on off the ball as well. JP Doyle, his eyes in the back of his head.
Well, yeah, of course, remember that game in the league in December, which it ended up with that pile-up off the touchline. There was a ball boy almost crushed against the hoardings. Tuolangi dragged into touch by Chris Ashton by the hair, and two players sent off as a result of all that. And then remember last season in the semi-final when Manu Tuolangi punched Chris Ashton in the face. There's a lot of history. In fact, the history goes back well over 100 years.
Well, it doesn't take an awful lot to bring that bubble into the surface, all that pent-up frustration as he tongue away. Coming off after his day's work, a little bit full on there.
Day wins that line out. Ryan Lamb is there. Downey gets it to Tom May. PC, Diggin, Armstrong, and again, 3 defenders across for Tigers.
That's terrific drift defence for Tigers. Matt Smith able to get across the field there. You see Saints drawing a man far better to attack that inside shoulder.
Diggin, Clark.
10 away.
The moment really playing into the Leicester defence's hands. As Ryan points out. There was a little bit of a mini brawl on the floor between Youngs and Andy Long, and there's a penalty, and there will be time off for a chat.
Penalty against you. I'll tell you in a second. Against your team. Take him back. Yeah, listen.
I think it's Tom Youngs. A little bit of altercation.
Hooker, when he'd won the ball, tackling a man without the ball on the 10-metre line, he tackled his opponent.
Okay.
Hooker on Hooker, 10-metre line.
Some Hooker tackling without the ball.
Yeah, it was Tom Youngs.
No.
Andy
It's everyone.
Long.
He didn't have the ball.
Well, that's obviously why they were wrestling on the turf.
They really have brought an intensity to the game, but you see the visits to the 22, all about being clinical. 6 visits from Leicester, 17 points. 6 visits from Northampton Saints, 0 points. You have to take your chances. You have to score points when they're on offer. And at times the Saints have lost their composure.
More replacements coming on. Ben Nutley is on ball in his hands there. Replacement hooker Ross McMillan. Mark Sorensen is on as well, but it goes to his new second row partner.
3 is legal. 3 Leicester is legal.
And also on at scrum half is Ryan Glynn. Good drive by the Saints.
That is pulling down.
And the ball has been pulled down. Penalty coming, and it's Ryan Lamb intercepted by Waldron. But JP Doyle will come back for the original penalty.
It'd be interesting to see whether Tom Waldron would have gone the length of that field to score.
5.
And trying to get that pass away. And trying these things. They're trying at the moment. He's been brought on to do this. Ryan Lamb's been brought on to try things, to trying to find a way to unlock this stubborn Saints defence.
I wonder how long it would have been before Thomas Waldron hit the quicksand there. He had a long way to go.
They're giving away a ream of penalties in their own territory. Might there be a yellow card before long?
Leicester.
So Glynn leaves the ball that time.
Go onside.
And now he gets it. And here's Mujati. It's another penalty against Leicester. They're mounting up. Now it's Ryan Lamb and it's PC. In goes Glynn and in go Leicester.
Legal turnover. Number 20 offside.
Well, he's going to come back for that penalty. Leicester giving away an awful lot of those now in the red zone.
Yeah, it's got to be yellow card before. There's too many penalties accumulating now. That was a terrific tackle from Smith on PC.
Lamb fires it wide to PC. Diggin wanted it. Wide, didn't get it though. Here's Lamb and now Downey. One of those traditional rumbles by Downey.
Matt Smith with another good tackle again.
Well, at last the yellow card comes. But 9 of the last 10 penalties against Leicester Tigers. And it's the captain who goes, Jordan Murphy.
I've had to come.
Ryan Lamb, here's Day. Again, it's muscular defence by the Tigers. Glynn, here's Lamb. And it's Roger Wilson.
Ball's out.
Glenn, the ball's out this time. Legal by Leicester. Here is PC. PC to Diggin. Diggin has Armstrong! Oh, what a tackle by Aguja!
The scrambling defence, Murphy was there as well. What an engine on Steve Murphy around this field. But the scrambling defence has been simply outstanding from Leicester. Just look, for all the world, the Saints are going to score here. Plenty of width in their passing, but look at the defence coming across. No room for the inside pass either, because Murphy was there to cut it off.
McMillan.
Well, it's over 50.
Chance after chance after chance to
He's not on the ball.
get across this Leicester line. Glynn, Wilson. Again, sound defence by Leicester, and the ball was out there. And again, at the critical moment, in a critical area of the field, they've turned the ball over.
Oh, go easy. Tight hat, number 3. Let go of each other. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, Matt.
Yes, another visit of 22 and no points.
Well, this has been an absolutely brutal confrontation between these two. And if this is the third most important tournament of the season, what are the other two like?
It's been a punishing game, really absorbing game. From start to finish, really enjoyed this. Plenty of intent from both sides, plenty of intensity as well. Some of the scrambling defence from Tigers has been outstanding.
Julian Salve it was in there, picking the ball up.
Look at those turnovers conceded as well by Northampton. 5 of them. Open field. As soon as you think that they've got a sniff of a try, Tigers defence closes ranks.
Glynn from Day's ball on the line out. Here's Downey. Toby Flood with the tackle. Glynn to Lamb, and another wide ball. To Tomei. Glynn, Lamb. That defence just looks impenetrable today. Lamb, and they keep on bashing the Saints. Well, they just can't bash away through Waller.
Balls up.
Slow ball, and it's off the ground. It's Maul ball, and it's turnover ball, and it's Mooney Pola who kicks through. Diggin has to come across the pitch at an angle, and the kick chase is well organised by Leicester. Waldron piles in. Diggin tries desperately to set it back. Off goes Lamb, finds Wilson. Roger Wilson to Sorensen. Downey, Nutley. And it's PC now. George PC's on his own. He needs support. Tomei's close by. Here is Tomei. Another incredible tackle. Andy Forsyth that is who makes it. Fresh legs. Offside.
That's lazy running coming back as well. Knew there's an opportunity there for the Saints. And they were picking those lazy angles and retreating. What a lovely break from PC.
Ben Nutley, again he takes on the human shield of the Tigers. Here's Diggin to break through that shield at last. Can't quite get there. Here's Dean, no they do! And it's Day! Is that the lifeboat? Is it too late for the Saints to swim away from this deep and troubled water? Well, there's only 5 minutes left. You would say yes, but at least it gives them a molecule of hope.
What an outstanding game of rugby, really is end-to-end. Saints are throwing everything. That's a lovely offload from Nutley to PC. PC's run out of support. He's trying to wait for someone, buying a bit of time. May gets there eventually to sustain that ball. Hold on to the ball, go through the next phase. Plenty of width. Trying to pick off some runners, some defenders are starting to tire a little bit, and now Saints are trying to take advantage of the fatigue in the Tigers' legs. Didn't panic here, didn't overdo it, and a terrific timed run to score out wide.
Ryan Lamb. And no. So 12 points is the margin despite this try from Day. It still needs 2 converted tries. Massive ask.
Christian Day did so well to get there. Worked hard after the second row to get to that breakdown. How hard did he have to work to get there?
Toby Flood, Roger Wilson. Good tackle by Skivington.
Take a step.
And these Leicester players have really shown what engines they have in this defence, and the ball squirts away from Armstrong. 3.5 minutes to go.
Saints trying everything on this, still 8 points behind. Only 3.5 minutes left to go in the game. There can't be anything left in the tank now. Saints are giving it all out there.
Young's great take by Kitchener.
5.
Skivington is at the tail there with Julian Salvey. And off goes Skivington. Grindle, Waldron bounces away from Glenn. Grindle, and there is Toby Flood for 12 trees. PC makes the tackle. Can the Tigers finish off with a mighty, colourful flourish here as Grindle gets it back to Forsyth.
5 Northampton.
Grindle, Maffey. Brought down by a combination McMillan and Wilson. Now Toby Flood to Waldron. Scott Hamilton outside.
Compliment both sides in terms of their fitness levels. Really hard to go. As difficult as this game has been in terms of intensity, both sides have given everything. They'll still be going right to the end of the game.
Hands out, 6.
Grindle again down that blind side. It's Tom Youngs trying to match his brother from yesterday.
Straight through the middle.
Nothing comes through the middle there, so that was legal, says JP Doyle.
Thank you. 1 minute.
Glynn to Lamb. There's just a minute to go. In comes Tom May. Bobbling around. Leicester have it, but there's been a knock forward.
He's trying everything. At the moment, look at chips from behind your own line over the top as well. And he's trying to force this try. There's been some outstanding performances from me throughout the game on both sides. You know, if you look at George Ford, he really was exceptional for the hour or so he was on the field. I think Murray Polo has also been a really good. Been up against Tonguia, he's done his job in the scrum, he's been around the field as well, stealing ball, turning over. But my LV man of the match for the cup final is Steve Maffey. His ability around the field, took his try well, he's been physical, at the restarts he's been strong as well. So Steve Maffey is my LV man of the match.
Glenn, Lamb, oh good little show from Ryan Lamb. PC to his right, and Tom May chases, and Forsyth, the ball's not out yet. Tom May pounces on the ball. Half of the Leicester team pounce on the one remaining Saint to touch the egg, and Richard Cockrell and the East Midlands masses celebrate a quite wonderful triumph.
An outstanding performance, outstanding final. But Tigers really have been excellent. After the initial sticky sort of first 10 minutes or so of the game, they really took control. They've been clinical, they've taken their chances. The likes of Waldron, Murphy being so effective, carrying the ball. Kitchener has also impressed me. So much energy in this side, so much attack intent from both sides. Really, you see lots of hands on hips, bent over, trying to get their breath back. They're giving everything the players in that field. You see what it means to the supporters. You can hear the Tiger supporters in full voice in the stand there. They've enjoyed this.
Again, what about that Leicester Tigers defence and the way they dealt with all those scrums close to their line in that critical phase of the match?
Yeah, they rode their luck. They gave a series of penalties away. I think 9 out of 10 penalties in one period were conceded by the Tigers. So, but they frustrated the Saints. The Saints lost their composure at times. And Tigers were well aware of that. Their scrambling defence really was. Matt Smith seemed to put 2 or 3 try-saving tackles in. Murphy was there to stop an inside pass from Armstrong as well. Lots of energy on both sides, lots of intent. As I said, lots of enthusiasm. I got to admit, really enjoyed this game.
Well, 18 wins and 1 draw in the last 22, Leicester. They really have kicked on from that disastrous start to the season during the World Cup phase, haven't they, Jan?
Yes, they're waiting to get some of their key players back off the treatment table onto the pitch as well. That's very different. And also, Richard Cockrell has re-evaluated this tournament as well. It's a chance to win some silverware, chance to put a marker down against a side that potentially might beat them again at some point in the latter stages of the Premiership.
Well, let's hear now from the Leicester captain, Jordan Murphy, and also the LV man of the match, Steve Maffey. They are both down below us here with Ed Draper.
Steve, how good for you to score a try in a win against Northampton in a cup final? First ever.
Oh, it's awesome, especially in a final. In LV, it's always good to get silverware, and especially get a try, and especially win it, so it's always a good feeling.
Jordan, you've been here before in a lot of successful outings for Leicester. Where did it rank for you?
You know, a silverware of any type is always great. You know, it's what the club wanted. You know, we were in a position today that a lot of guys worked hard to get us into this position, and we really wanted to win it for the guys who didn't have the opportunity to pull the shirt on today. So it was important for the squad to get the win, and as Stevie said, you know, it's nice to win a final.
And you've won 7 Premiership titles. Does this give you a good platform to push on and get an 8th one now?
You know, this is very different to the Premiership. Obviously, there's a long way to go in the Premiership. Knockout sort of rugby in the last couple of weeks, and we did well. And you know, we just have to try and keep our form and keep playing in the Premiership, see what happens towards the end of the year.
Now, Steve Mathie's still panting. I won't go to him, but a quick word on this big man's performance today.
Stevie's been awesome for us for a good few weeks now. He's a real team man. He's one of the boys, works very, very hard for us. He's very athletic for a big man, and we like to get him the ball as much as possible.
Well, Steve, congratulations. You are the LV man of the match, and Chris Hopkinson is here from LV to award you. Congratulations. They've been there, done it before, haven't they, the Leicester Tigers? Jordan Murphy plenty of times. Steve Maffey, the try scorer, but one suspects the saying defence wins titles is appropriate in this particular occasion, Dean. Second half.
Well, I think second half especially, but I think we've got to go back into the first half and understand how they set up that last half hour in the first half. I really like the way they took the game to Northampton. They kicked high, challenged the breakdown, didn't offer the back three of Northampton anything to come back in the game, and that's where they got all their possession. They dealt with the restarts, made sure they had a chance of retrieving that ball. From that, the second half, once they got the points on the board, change the tactics, put it long. OK, come and try and find a way out of your own half and try and beat this Leicester defence.
We're seeing some of the additional squad members join this huddle, which is growing by the moment.
734 Leicester players that he's going to use in the remaining 5 games.
48 players used, to be precise, in this particular competition. But the depth of the squad evident today, Will.
Yeah, absolutely super. And there's a couple of guys who take a little bit of criticism. I thought James Grindle had a really good game. It's come up tidy, busy. In and away, which gave George Ford a little bit more time. He didn't want to scrum half dithering for Ford today. Gave him the time to kick well, and again, like he did against Bath, put the ball on a sixpence. The 4-12 trees combination in terms of kick and chase is perfect. 12 trees who's there in shot, guns people down and takes the shot tackling wise. You go, for me, to that sort of 15-20 minute period in the second half where you just go, we don't mind if we're 1 inch from our line or 80 yards from our line. You ain't crossing it. And we might concede pens, but we'll do it in a variety of different ways, so the referee doesn't know what to yellow card us for. He's not building it up, and so you just keep them out, niggle. align that with absolutely tremendous defence. It was superb on the line. Aguja, one point in particular, absolute sensation. You thought it was all the money in the world. It was a try for Armstrong up the left, and they're all scrambling for each other.
I think also is, you know, to have that sound defence, you have to be very comfortable when it comes to scrum time. How many times are they under pressure on the 5 metre? And I really thought after Stankovic had gone off, Yurtz's opportunity to come on made it real sort of difficult for Doran Jones. He was having a little bit of success against Stankovic. Suddenly Yurtz is in front of him. Penalties started to revert round. On comes Majority. First scrum, I thought, bingo, Northampton are into this. They got the drive. Yurtz just changes a few little things. That's not going to happen again. 2 crucial scrums, which really were Northampton's entry back in the game. They get something there. Lamb comes on with 10-15 minutes to go. It's a different ball game. Nothing. Turnover situations, they clear the lines, they get away, and suddenly the pressure's back on Northampton. You're almost inviting Lamb to say, go on, go do something silly from your 22 before. That's the only way you're going to get any way past this defensive line.
And the great thing for a coach that can take a great deal of credit for is in the Premiership at the start of the season, they were conceding 30-40 points a game. These busts that PC was making were ending up in points for tries, and so they've clearly worked very hard on the training ground to correct those errors, and that's what you're supposed to do as a coach. Throughout the season, you address errors, you address areas of weakness, and you try and cover them off. So Richard Cockrell, he's played a blind. I mean, he cannot believe he's here after that Scarlets result on opening weekend. But one big result against Harlequins, and there you go. And there's a bit of niggle, as always, between the Saints and the Tigers, as you would expect. But Callum Clark never gives a yard, does he? I think he's been a real, during the Six Nations, Lancaster's given him a chance within the EPS squad. I think he's come back and he's been excellent for his club. But today, that ability to take the points when you get the chance, they couldn't. And Leicester are happy to sit and defend.
Yeah, defining moment perhaps, that intercept runaway try to Hamilton. Disappointment on the faces of the Northampton Saints. We'll be back with the guys in the studio shortly. But for now, let's head down to the commentators to talk us through the trophy presentation. Jan and Mark.
Well, I just love that moment on the pitch, the Tigers' ring of steel, which involved all of the England players who won at Twickenham yesterday. So it is an exceptional double. Tuolangi, Cole, Croft, Hurling and Youngs all uniting with the men who did the job today.
Yeah, didn't they do exactly that, to be honest? After that initial first 10 minutes of storm from the Saints, they came back and generally controlled the game. And that man, George Ford, his kicking game was a key part of that success. But the defence was there, the appetite, the hunger was certainly there, the hunger from the Tigers of old.
It's a 17th trophy in the modern era for Leicester, a 7th win in this competition in its various forms since it began in 1972, and a second success since this tournament became Anglo Welsh in 2006. In 2007, the Tigers beat the Ospreys in the final, and today it is their great old rivals, Northampton.
A thoroughly professional performance from Tigers and fully deserve this trophy.
Well, Julian White, the old stager, is the man who has allowed the honour of lifting the LV trophy.
Nice touch for Julian White. Really an excellent game of rugby, and Amanda Chicago should be thrilled. They'll be delighted with the performances of a team like that. And with a lot of these players coming back to full fitness, back to the international arena as well. Who knows, that's going to be the last trophy they lift this season.
Well, a shot there of Richard Cockrell as Jordan Murphy lifts the trophy. You know, Leicester lost 6 of their first 7 games. They were under so much pressure. They were down in the relegation zone of the Premiership. And now here they are, having already won silver. And who's to say they won't get their own back on Saracens in the final at Twickenham in the Aviva Premiership after losing out last year, and kick on from here.
Well, they never won 9 of their last 11 games. There's some significant momentum behind their charge at the back end of this season. But there's plenty of energy there. Obviously some changes, the likes of Jordan Murphy and Thomas Waldron coming back into the team. Able to bring up the likes of a Yurtz onto the field as well. Julian Salvi came onto the field again with bags of experience, and Toby Flood to see him over the line. But generally, the way they responded to that initial pressure they put on number Saints really was exceptional. That hunger was certainly there. I loved their offloading game, the way they run onto the ball, plenty of runners there. Really a terrific all-round performance by Leicester Tigers.
As the Leicester players disappear behind a haze of champagne. Well, that 17th trophy success for Leicester. It's their 12th head-to-head cup success. Of course, some of their Premiership successes have come not in knockout finals, but under the old league formats. But 7 Premierships, 2 Heineken Cups, and of course the victories in this tournament when it was all English, and now the Anglo Welsh version. But what a determined display by Leicester today, all across the park, and the defence was simply outstanding, and they took all their chances. Let's go down and talk to 2 out halves, Flood and Ford, with Ed River.
Toby, what do you make of this young fly half? 19 on Friday. He's playing like a 32-year-old, isn't he?
I know, this is it. He's not only making me feel old with his birthday, he's making my legs feel old by the way he's running around. So, no, credit to everyone today. I thought they were outstanding. Fordy particularly, I thought the guys controlled the game so well. And I know we've got a fortunate breakaway try there, but I don't think we ever really felt too bad defence. I think the guys defended really well, and credit to Northampton, they played some tough stuff. But it was massive for this bunch of guys, and they came out and they made a big song and dance of it. And credit for all their hard work throughout the year. They really deserve it.
And George, 48 players used in this tournament. What does that say about Leicester, the strength and depth and the rotation that Richard Cockrell has at his disposal?
Oh, I think it says a lot, yeah. I think, you know, it's been quite a big challenge this year. The LV Cup went down to Scarlets for this year and got battered, to be honest. So to come back from that, and the players stood up in every single game. We had Quins away, we had Bath away, and you know, just a great feeling that we can all be here together today and celebrate.
For you personally, are you looking forward to a good battle with this man for the number 10 shirt?
I don't know. I just know it's been great being around players like Floody every day in the club, and you know, we kick together and stuff. We have a chat about the game and stuff. It can only be good for both of us.
Toby, what a boost for the Premiership running now. You go to Franklin Gardens in a couple of weeks, and then of course playoffs to follow.
Yeah, we've got 5 to go in the Premiership. We know it's massive. I think we're still trying to target top 2, but this gives us a huge boost. You know, winning this competition, I think. It's massive for the club and the environment, and having the young guys around really driving us forward is so important. And we're heading towards what will be hopefully a big run-in for us. And if we can get in that top 2 and get a home semi-final, then I think, you know, that's the big thing we want to get to in that Premiership final again.
Gentlemen, thank you. Enjoy the celebrations.
Cheers.
Yeah, just wonder if that trophy isn't the last they pick up this season. Certainly heading in the right direction after a difficult start to the season, the Leicester Tigers, and don't they look good throughout their squad? Just a couple of number 10s there, not bad for Richard Cockrell to choose from as he moves forward, not only this season but in the many seasons to come for the Leicester Tigers. Other sport options coming your way on Sky as we speak. Action from the Premier League between Newcastle and Norwich. That's taking place right now over on Sky Sports 1 HD. And you've also got cricket to choose from if you are so inclined. Sky Sports 4 HD, one-day international between West Indies and Australia. Well, we may look back at particular incidents throughout this match as turning points, as defining moments. This has got to be one of them. Scott Hamilton plucking it out of the sky and running 80 metres at a time